what if the worst military disaster in modern American history became the greatest strategic gift the United States ever received? Because on one night in April 1980, 8 American servicemen died in an Iranian desert. The mission failed. The hostages stayed captive. The entire world watched America fall apart in real time. Iran celebrated. America was humiliated. But hidden inside that catastrophe was the blueprint for the most lethal special operations machine ever created, a force so capable that 40-5 years later, presidents, terrorist leaders, and even foreign governments still plan around what it can do. Because sometimes, the most powerful weapon a nation ever builds is born from its greatest embarrassment. To understand why Desert One changed everything, you have to go back to November 1979. Iran Shah, America's closest ally in the Middle East, had just been overthrown. A revolutionary government seized power. Anti-Midas American anger exploded. Then came the embassy takeover. 60-6 Americans were taken hostage. The world expected the crisis to last days. Instead, it lasted 444. Every night, American television counted the days. Every night, millions watched their country appear helpless. Pressure on President Jimmy Carter became unbearable. 5 months passed. Diplomacy failed. Negotiations collapsed. Finally, Carter looked at his military advisors and said, "Let's go get them." There was only one problem. The United States military of 1980 was not built to do this. It wasn't really one military. It was for separate organizations, each operating like a different company. Different radios, different chains of command, different procedures, different definitions of success and failure. Even basic communication was a problem. And right at the center of this chaos was a brand new unit called Delta Force. It had existed for only 5 months. Its very first real mission would become the most complicated hostage rescue operation in modern history. The plan was called Operation Eagle Claw. 8 helicopters, 6 transport aircraft, a secret desert landing zone, CIA assets inside Tehran, simultaneous assaults, extraction under enemy territory. On paper, it looked brilliant. In reality, it was almost impossibly complicated, and almost immediately, everything started going wrong. A helicopter failed. Then came the sandstorm. Not a dust cloud. Not bad weather. A wall of sand stretching for miles. Visibility vanished. Aircraft became separated. Navigation systems failed. Another helicopter turned back. Then another became inoperable. Only 5 remained. The minimum requirement was 6. The mission was over, but somehow exploding. The disaster was only beginning. A civilian bus suddenly appeared. Then a fuel truck. A rocket strike ignited the tanker, creating an explosion visible for miles. The desert lit up. Iranian witnesses escaped. America's secret mission was no longer secret. Then came the final catastrophe. A helicopter collided with a transport aircraft. Both erupted into a massive fireball. 8 Americans died instantly. Ammunition cooked off in every direction. The surviving crews fled. They left behind helicopters, classified documents, intelligence files, CIA identities, and one of the greatest military humiliations in American history. The damage went far beyond 8 deaths. Iran scattered the hostages. Future rescue attempts became nearly impossible. American credibility suffered enormously. The Soviet Union mocked the failure. America's allies were stunned. Its enemies drew one simple conclusion. The United States military could not execute a complex special operation. And at that moment, they were right. The Pentagon reached the same conclusion, not because Iran defeated America, but because America defeated itself. History has a strange pattern. Sometimes defeat becomes an invention engine. The attack on Pearl Harbor transformed American industry. The early failures of the Korean War reshaped modern command structures. Desert One would do the same thing. The United States did something extraordinary. It did not hide the failure. It dissected it. Every mistake, every broken procedure, every communication failure. Then it rebuilt everything from the ground up. Out of Desert One came JSOC SC Yari Alpine 6, the 160th Night Stalkers, SOCOM, the Goldwater minus Nichols reforms, the entire architecture of modern American special operations, the machine that killed Osama bin Laden, the force that hunted Saddam Hussein, the units capable of operating anywhere on Earth with almost no warning, the deadliest special operations ecosystem ever assembled, and all of it can't trace its origins back. to one burning salt flat in the Iranian desert. So what does this story mean today? There are three possibilities. Desert One remains a historical lesson, a reminder that failure can become innovation. Its descendants continue shaping conflicts around the world. Whenever a crisis emerges, America's first response increasingly becomes precision, speed, and special operations. The most unsettling possibility, the regime that once celebrated Desert One's failure, is now facing the military machine that failure created. A machine carrying 40-5 years of operational experience, technological evolution, and institutional memory. Because military organizations, like people, remember humiliation. And sometimes, they spend decades making sure it never happens again. Iran believed Desert One proved history was on its side. America believed Desert One proved it had to change. 40-5 years later, one of those conclusions appears far more consequential than the other, because the helicopters that burned in that desert did not mark the end of a failed rescue mission. They marked the beginning of something entirely new. 8 men died, a mission collapsed, an empire was embarrassed, and from those ashes, the United States built a force that changed the way modern warfare is fought. So here's the question. Was Desert One America's greatest military failure, or the most expensive investment in military transformation ever made? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoy stories where history's biggest disasters end up reshaping the world, make sure you're subscribed. Because sometimes, the night everything goes wrong is the night everything truly begins.